Guys, welcome to part 5, the final installment in this Cars and SUVs under $10,000 series. Now, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, they're down there somewhere. This week, we're talking about special cars. So performance cars, luxury cars, cars that are all about driver involvement. And like, yes, the budget is tight at $10,000, but there are loads of cars to choose from. And that's why each number in this list represents a category. And as always, we've tried to keep these cars as internationally and readily available as possible. Anyway, kicking things off, it's hot hatches. $10,000 will get you behind the wheel of a host of hilarious hatchbacks, but some of the best options we think are the Suzuki Swift Sport, the Ford Fiesta XR4/ST, the BMW 1 Series, and a particular Toyota Corolla that we'll cover later in this video. But there's actually another car that we have over all of these, but first up, the Swift Sport. $10,000 should get you into a pretty decent first generation 2005 to 2012 Swift Sport, or a slightly rougher around the edges, higher kilometre second generation 2012 to 2017 example, and both provide arguably class-leading bang for your buck. But just be cautious, as being a very affordable hot hatch, many have encountered solid objects at speed thanks to inexperienced drivers, and therefore may possibly be hiding some very dodgy repair work. For more info, check the link up here or down there somewhere, but overall, cracking good car. Secondly, the Fiesta XR4, or outside of Australia, the Fiesta ST. These are bloody rare, especially good ones, but what an awesome little hatch. A tiny body with a muscular 2-litre engine and a chassis tuned for fun. Guys, what's not to love? Even engine-wise, in general, these Duratec units are proving to be pretty robust with really only a few common complaints. But like any performance car, driven hard without proper maintenance, and things can go bad. Just do your homework and make sure you watch our Ultimate Used Car Buyer's Guide video just up here before you hand over your cash, not just on the Fiesta, but on really any used car. Next up, it's the E87 1 Series BMW, but specifically any featuring the 3-litre N52/6. This engine comes in different states of tune, offering various levels of performance, but you're looking for the 125, 128 and 130i. Okay, sure, these don't have the power potential of their turbocharged siblings like the 135i and the 135IS, but with less complexity, there's less to go wrong. And even though these are regarded as being pretty reliable engines, certain components can and often still have issues, which we'll cover in far more detail when we review one, if somebody out there wants to lend us one. But ignoring any potential reliability headaches, this is a small hatch with naturally aspirated 6-cylinder power being sent to the rear wheels. That's not only a recipe for fun, guys, it's pretty bloody unique. But the car that we'd go with, even though a lot of people consider this to be a coupe rather than a hatch, we think it's a hatch, it's the Hyundai Veloster. With some serious hunting and haggling, you might even be able to get yourself behind the wheel of a turbocharged variant. And okay, look, sure, the previous cars mentioned are arguably more engaging and more focused performance cars, but for $10,000, we just feel that the Hyundai offers a broader range of skills. It's more practical than the Swift and the Fiesta. It offers modern tech and safety features. It's showing excellent reliability. If something were to go wrong, it's pretty affordable to fix. It's super enjoyable to drive. In turbo form, it's immensely tunable. The styling is unique and funky. And while it might not satisfy the serious petrol heads amongst us, for under $10,000, it offers just the right amount of heat for a hatch while still being pretty bloody sensible. Okay, next up, we're talking sporty coupes. So as we're talking running and maintenance costs being just as important as driver engagement, obviously the Toyota Celica needs a mention here. $10,000 will get you into a 6th generation 1994 to 1999 T200. And yes, it will most likely have loads of kilometers on it, but as we found in our full review, just up here, these things with the right maintenance with over 400,000 kilometers can still run perfectly and offer a decent chunk of retro sports car vibes. 10 grand will also get you into a 7th generation 2000 to 2006 Celica. But if you're watching this from outside of Australia, just make sure it has the more powerful 2ZZ GE engine, which funnily enough is the same engine fitted to the outstanding Corolla Sportivo, or the Run XZ Aero, or the T-Sport. Basically, it's the hot hatch variant of the 9th generation Corolla, and it should be on your shortlist because it is a brilliant thing. $10,000 will also get you behind the wheel of a BMW E46 330Ci, featuring a silky smooth, decently powerful and relatively reliable naturally aspirated 3-litre straight-six spinning up the rear wheels. Think of the 330Ci as like a cut price E46 M3. Actually, many claim that there's more chance that an M3 has been driven hard versus the slightly more conservative 330Ci, meaning that hopefully a 330ci might be the safer purchase option. But guys, look, don't get us wrong, they aren't without their gremlins, and being a BMW, the cost of parts may be on the premium side, but overall, the right 330ci is something of a performance car bargain. But what if you still want rear-wheel drive, but you just must have more power? That's easy. It's the Nissan Skyline 350 GT. We're talking the 11th generation V35 in two-door coupe form, made from 2002 to 2007, which is basically a Nissan 350Z wearing a different outfit and costing thousands of dollars less. And look, okay, yes, the 350Z is a more pure sports car, and it is powered by a slightly more powerful version of the 3.5 litre V6, or the VQ35. And while both the Skyline and the 350Z share the same platform, the Z features extra body bracing, underbody aero parts, and it weighs about 100 kilograms less, but the Skyline is just as tunable, just as reliable, and it offers about 90% of what a 350Z can for sometimes $10,000 to $20,000 less. And if somebody out there has one and you live close to Sydney or Newcastle, we would love to review it. Let us know in the comments. Okay, next up, who doesn't love some topless fun? That's right, we're talking about convertibles, but it's not the one you think. Kind of, sort of. Okay, it goes without saying, for roof-off affordable, driver-focused fun, surely it must be a Mazda MX-5 or Miata. And yeah, look, you're right, but there's another more unique option. But first, the Mazda. With how popular the MX-5 is, for $10,000, you're going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel here. We're talking second generation NB MX-5s with well over 200,000 kilometers on the clock, but we argue you're possibly more likely to drive the pants off a bit of an old banger MX-5 than you will some mint condition show car. And even a rough MX-5 is hilariously fun, and I know from experience, working on them to get them back to their best is sometimes just as satisfying as actually driving them. But what if you don't want the obvious Mazda? Well, with some serious hunting and haggling, try to get yourself into a Toyota MR2. For this budget, first and second generation cars are both out of the budget and very, very hard to find. But you might just be able to get yourself behind the wheel of what is basically a cut price, yet arguably easier to live with Lotus Elise, the third generation MR2 from 2000 to 2007. Rear-wheel drive, mid-engined, lightweight Spider-style body, the MR2 is designed and engineered to provide excellent handling and steering, and a platform as simple as possible to allow for easy customizing and tuning. Plus, it's a Toyota, so reliability should be excellent, and as it shares many parts with more mundane models, the cost of parts should be pretty affordable. Any negatives? Well, here in Australia, the majority out there will feature the slightly odd automated manual transmission. But find a manual, or one that has been properly and professionally swapped to a manual, and snap it up before somebody else does. Okay, next up, it's sporty sedans. Okay, loads to choose from here, but let's kick it off with the obvious one, the Subaru Impreza WRX. We know, any WRX asking less than $10,000 will have seen far better days and will be showing over 200,000 kilometers, which, okay, yes, it's a concern. But with some hunting, there are well-maintained 2000 to 2006 WRXs out there, and with the right history, a fastidious owner, and when driven with at least some mechanical sympathy, they can be a reliable thing. Just avoid any that have been modified or have been clearly owned by a dickhead. Otherwise, the WRX has a huge support network and a strong fan base, so if something were to go wrong, help isn't far away. Which is also something that can be said for our next option, it's the BMW 3 Series. But with so many 3 Series to choose from, which one? Well, look, we'd be going with the sedan version of the E46 330ci we mentioned earlier, so a 330i, and for all of the same reasons as the CI. But if you do want something newer, try to track down an E90 packing the N52, but ideally the N53, which for this budget is going to be a challenge. Or offering arguably better build quality and far less stress when it comes to things mechanically going wrong and the costs involved in repairing them, it's the Lexus IS250. Okay, the Lexus possibly won't deliver the same levels of ultimate driving machine dynamics as the BMW, but thanks to an incredible reputation and proven track record when it comes to reliability, at this budget, the Lexus offers a peace of mind that very few other manufacturers can provide. Plus, bolt in some quality suspension, some performance rubber, and freshen up those brakes. These things can be hugely enjoyable to steer. And then we have a couple of wildcard options. Firstly, the third generation 2007 to 2010 Ford Mondeo, as long as it has the turbocharged 5-cylinder, which we call the XR5 Turbo here in Australia. This car isn't without its faults, but overall it is hugely underrated. It's genuinely practical, and it's a turbocharged 5-cylinder, which makes it instantly cool. And then we have a car that is incredibly close to my heart because I own one. For now, and yes, they are very, very hard to find, unless you're willing to offer me the right money for mine. It's the Nissan Stagea. Specifically, we're talking about the 2001 to 2007 M35 Stagea, which after owning one for over a year is a truly brilliant and properly fast thing. Okay, yes, it's not a sedan obviously, but it's way cooler because it's a wagon. For all of the Stagea details, watch this up here, or we have all the links down there somewhere. Now guys, if you haven't already, can you please smash those subscribe, like, and bell buttons? And if you're enjoying what we do here at ReDriven, can you share it with all of your mates? The only way that we can keep making these videos for you is with your support, and just doing that stuff and sharing our content, it helps us out so, so much. Now finally, let's talk luxury cars. Hang on, luxury cars for under $10,000? Can that even be done? Yes, it can. Here we go. First of all, let's go old school, and we mean old school. For $10,000, you can get yourself into a host of various classic Mercedes-Benzes. We mean anything from about 1968 to 1990, which, yes, aren't all that safe. They won't be dynamic to drive and will obviously have near zero tech, but this is all about luxury cars here. So we're talking about sitting back, cruising around in comfort, exuding an understated cool, and a classic Merc fits that bill perfectly. The models to check out here are anything from the 1972 to 1980 W116 and its successor, the 1980 to 1990 W126 range, later models within the 1968 to 1976 W114 era, and of course, anything from the iconic 1976 to 1986 W123 range, which many claim to be the greatest car ever made. Now look, obviously with the age of these, they will most likely require a whole lot of TLC and fastidious maintenance to keep running at their best, and the fuel bills will most likely be ridiculous. But do your homework, find a good one, and you'll have yourself one very cool set of wheels. But what if you just want a bargain luxury car that doesn't require your undivided attention when it comes to the mechanicals? Well, that's easy. It has to be a Lexus. For $10,000, you're going to be looking at the LS and GS models. LSs will most likely be from the 2000 to 2006 third generation, and GSs will be either second generation models from 1997 to 2000 or fourth generation 2006 to 2011 models. And after reviewing a second generation GS, if it was anything to go by, these things offer so much car for the money. Look, obviously like any car at this budget, guys, again, we highly recommend watching our Ultimate Used Car Buyer's Guide, and please do your homework. If they're turbocharged, try to get yourself into a, but find a manual or one that has been properly and professionally swapped to become a, I knew I was gonna fuck it, there you go. But we want to know, out of all these, which one would you buy with your $10,000 or less? Let us know in the comments. See you soon.